So one of the most popular commercial applications for central vacuum systems are veterinarian hospitals because of the constant never-ending stream of hair and debris and dogs, cats, animals walking in and out, and people, and the need to clean quietly and effectively, and to do so without disturbing customers too much. So this is a brand new vet center here, and it's all one level. It has 12 inlets, 10 wall inlets, and 2 Wally flex inlets. So starting off here, this is the far back corner. These are offices in here, bathroom. So this inlet goes up, over across here, and then goes through, right up through there, comes across. And now we're moving into the surgery area. So you'll see there's one inlet over here which does surgery, treatment, and a couple more rooms over here. So this pipe comes up over, and then we Y up. I'm a big fan of 30-degree fittings. It's really easy to work with. It's a very gentle sweep. So that comes up, Ys into here, and then to avoid these, natural skylights that they have in here, we kicked over here just a little bit, again with 230s, and then going back here, you'll see a Y turned on its side, and there's a reason for that. So in this column here, again, this is in the treatment room where they will prep. There'll be a table here, through here, matching table over there. This will be where they prep animals and treat animals. So they'll be shaving, animals for surgery. So the idea of being able to clean quickly is really necessary. So here we have a Wally inlet. You can tell by the height. It's at about light switch height, mounted here. And to avoid the top plate, which is actually structural in this instance, we kicked back this time with 245s because the angle we need to go at, up through the top webbing there, and then what you'll notice is another pipe back here, and that leads to an inlet for in this room. The idea being is in case they ever needed to vacuum this room without wanting to plug in back there, although there's a lot of overlap, they wanted one specifically in this room, so we installed that here. And they wanted it centered up underneath the electrical outlet, which we did. And then you'll notice it kicks off again with 230s. Although, which it's a very common mistake, we could have put a Y here and just picked up this inlet and Y'd it in. Problem is, every time they use this inlet, all the dirt, because this is just dead space below here with no air moving through it, would drop and it would all collect in this inlet. So every time they'd open this door, you'd have debris there. So that's why both pipes go straight up. And then over here, you can see we have a Y turned on side, they Y together, then kick up into 230s, and then join the rest of the branch line. Then, although this is all one floor, there's 5 furnaces in this facility, and we put an inlet in the attic space, so that way they could vacuum that area, and if they ever had to do maintenance on the furnaces, they could. So it comes across here, then goes straight back. Again, over some more. This is like a dog kennel area here. Exactly what this room is here. But we have this inlet here, which again, it's overlapping into surgery and does back this hallway. This is actually a boarding area for the employees' animals, so they can bring their dogs and cats to work, I guess. And then this is for the dogs that are being treated here. And I believe that's a surgery room in there, like I said, with this being the treatment room. And this inlet here does really nice overlap. Then coming back, you can see the trunk line goes Ys back in. We do use Ys more than Ts. And then over here, this is going down to another Wally flex. And this room here is the food prep and laundry room area. So this will have one set of stacked washer and dryers here. And then there'll be counters next to it for food prep. So this, another area for high quick clean needs. This will allow for that. They don't have to go get the hose every time they want to do a quick cleanup. And then comes through here, and then you'll notice there's a 2x4 in there as a walkway going across the attic there and for bracing the joist. And we wanted to avoid that, but didn't want to add unnecessary turns because we could have very easily put 90 in there, went down, and then 45'd or 90, another 90, then use 3 90s in total. With this, because we want to come down into the truss bay, and then we wanted to make that turn there without hitting that 2x4, we have 245s with a really long transition piece turned at a kind of a funky angle. And then this is the delivery area for when the vet center gets deliveries. You see there's another inlet back here, which does this back hallway. You can actually do pretty much this whole back hallway from this inlet, as well as into here and this storage room here, located in the corner there. So if they want to put a table or something here, or shelves, they can do so pretty easily. We couldn't go in this wall here because of the air vent up above. And then walking over here is where the unit will be mounted. So this system is going to be set up, and there's from the rest of the system, which we'll get to in a moment. The incoming dirt will come down here. There will be a MD pre-unit separator here that holds about 5 gallons with a cyclone in it. That's going to spin out the big debris. Although this is not a wet and dry system, if they were to accidentally suck up a little bit of moisture or something they didn't mean to, it would go into that interceptor before reaching the motor, so it's kind of an extra safeguard. So that's going to be mounted between these 2 studs here, and then right next to it is going to be the actual power unit itself. We're using the really great MD M715 power unit, which has this big 8.4 commercial motor, 8.4-inch commercial motor, just the best. It lasts a super long time. And then you'll notice up here there's another pipe leading to the outside. That is the exhaust. As you can imagine, pet odors do build up. We normally don't vent units very often, but in a vet hospital it really does make a lot of sense, because you don't want a lot of pet odor buildup in this room after the vacuum's been running for a few hours. So then, like I said, this other kind of separate trunk line, which is just how it turned out this way, just with the way the building was framed and built. Well, it made the most sense for the tubing runs. But you'll notice there's another, basically a whole other trunk line that handles the front of the facility. So it's this inlet here. You can see it going through, and then down this hallway here. And again, this is surgery area over there. So coming across here, this goes to the front of the store, and then this comes and does this hallway here. So the great thing about this is they can plug in a hose here, and this little short hallway here goes out to the behind the desk of the front reception area, with the idea being, if they ever have the need to vacuum while somebody's out front here, they don't need to go out to a inlet in the front of the building to plug the hose in. The 2 areas can kind of be cleaned separately. So you have a telephone area here, another office in here, I believe, and another room here. So from this inlet, you can clean the whole way over to there. You can clean the whole way down to the end of that hallway, which is where we started from, and you can go into the different areas from here. Going over to the side here, I'm sorry about the video shaky. I'm one person. So this inlet here this is the cat half of the building. When the cool thing this veterinarian did was there's the cat side and the dog side, with actually has separate entrances, so they don't have to intermingle or have any issues with combative pets. So this inlet here does again, this back hallway, there's overlap, does out through the front, does into the vestibule. You can clean either vestibule from either inlet. There's another staff entrance over there, and does all of these rooms obviously pretty adequately. So that's right there. Goes up, ties into the trunk line over there. And then last inlet in the system, again, this is the dog ward side of the building, or the lobby area. Again, the idea being is you can have people out front and still clean the back areas without having to come out here to plug the hose in, so there's no tripping hazard. This inlet here does this side. I mean, there's a lot of overlap, which is what you want to have. Does all the way, all these rooms, and then does into the 2 vestibules, and you can actually go outside a little bit with it. So it makes it really nice. But you can see this comes across here. We go to avoid the joist, 45, come across here, and then we want to be into this part of the attic. We kick up with a 30 to a 90, go across. This is the inlet from the cat ward side, again using 30s, coming back through here, Ying in right up there, after we picked up that inlet there, coming back, and we're going back to where the unit joins and everything joins together. Because they're on two separate trunk lines and the unit we're installing here is so powerful, although it's not blockbuster performance, if by mistake somebody was vacuuming out front and they plugged in or they went to use the Wally Flex back here, because the two trunk lines are separated, it would have enough suction that it could very easily pick up hair, some debris without too much trouble. Had they all been sharing the same trunk line, the suction would be much, much lower. If you're building a commercial building like this, whether it be a hair salon, a manufacturing facility, veterinarian center, anything like this, you're going to be using the system a lot. You really want to make sure that the contractor you are selecting to do this is putting the forethought in of how are you actually going to use the system. There's a lot of times, anybody can throw pipes into a house or a building and it will work decently enough. But I've seen veterinarian centers before where the only way to clean the examining rooms are by going into the lobby and plugging a hose in. Well, that doesn't work so well whenever you have people there and you don't want to disturb them, or it's like I said, it's a tripping hazard, or there's not enough inlets. They have to cover the facility with a 40-foot hose because they skimped on how many inlets they installed. Now, for a commercial facility like this, where it is just all one level, I believe this one's about 7,000 square feet altogether. We did this with a 35-foot hose. Typically when we do homes until they get up to 7,000 square feet, we tend to we just lay the system out the 30-foot hose. You can make that decision. It really depends on the floor plan. But again, you really want to make sure you're selecting a contractor who is meeting with you, who's thinking about how are we going to be using the system, how will we be maintaining the system, because we've been in some veterinarian centers who they love their system, they couldn't live without it, and then you get into some other ones that because it's installed improperly. We had one where you actually had to crawl through the intake and exit of the furnace to get back to where the unit was mounted to change the bag. If you have something that's installed like that without any forethought, you're going to hate it, you're not going to use it. So if you're building, even if you're not in my territory, we cover basically the whole Pittsburgh metro area, as well into parts of Ohio, Morgantown, West Virginia, and those areas. Even if you're not in that area, I still welcome you to reach out. I'm always happy to offer some advice or even give you a referral of somebody who might be in your area who can do a system for you. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call or message or comment on this video. I know I've just been scanning around a little bit, but didn't know what you wanted me to focus on. So thank you guys, and have a good one.